And of course, we have a consumer man in the house, Mr. Trevor Samuels from the National Consumers League. Good morning, my brother. How are you this morning?
I am fine this morning, sir, because we got some rain last week. And it was the most welcome showers I've seen for quite a little while.
Water commission still a problem because right now
I don't think that's enough to put water in the dam.
No, not only that, I hear they're having problems with pumps because in the Queensborough area, Perkins Boulevard, I think those persons haven't had any water from yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, that's probably it's not a shortage of water, really. Maybe a technical problem there. I hope.
I like you call it technical. Everything is technical, you know.
Maybe it's a technical problem. Let me put it, give them the benefit of the doubt. Yes. And what you're going to find now, that everybody, all the farmers are going out there to plant the same thing. And in a couple of weeks' time, you're going to have a glut. Everybody going to have cabbage, because cabbage is expensive right now.
Yes, that's what Nadine.
Everybody going to have carrots, and everybody going to have lettuce and all these other things, and the price is going to go down because everybody comes in at the same time.
Guess what they're going to cost now? What they're going to cost for the price drop low? It costs government. We need to learn that there are some things that we have to manage ourselves.
If we are business people, we have to learn to know that, we are private enterprise.
Right.
And a private enterprise means anytime you're going into business, you have to take risks. So therefore, if you're going into business, remember that is a part of business risk. You may succeed, you may not succeed. And of course, depending on how you manage it and how you did your research before going into business to see whether you are really something that you're going to have a market for and so forth. So therefore, once you go in there, don't blame government for everything. You have to take some of the blame for yourself. So you know that you're going into a risky business. So be careful. So plan out properly before you go into it. Look before you leap, as the saying goes. Okay.
So, you know why you must look before you leap? You jump in a sinkhole. And then at that time you start to look.
At that time you start to look. So you look too early. And not because it's a business, business, it's likely to either succeed or fail.
Yes.
And some people have to start many times over before they hit on the right note. So when you're going to business, be careful of what you do. Do your research before you go in there. Don't just jump because you say that sounds good, but do your research before you get in there and see what really is likely to happen. Now, something that has come up this week, and the whole question of egg prices. I hear that we have to look out for some increases in egg prices because it's not that there's a shortage, but the inputs for producing eggs have been rising steadily because remember we don't really have a lot of local inputs. Everything is imported.
Right.
And it is imported from countries where the prices are rising because of COVID, we still blame COVID for a lot of things, but the war in the Ukraine is in fact still affecting the price of grains which we use to feed our chicken because we don't have a lot of local inputs for feeding our chickens and our other livestock. So therefore, we have to, in order for the farmers to stay in business, they have to be a little bit of increase on the price of eggs. And egg is one of the probably most available protein for young children especially. So therefore, you have to probably fork out a little bit more to give the children sufficient protein because giving them the proteins might save your doctor's bill in the long run. The other thing that you have to look out for being Lent is fish prices. People have a blend of fish and Lent.
Right.
And therefore, it is customary that people use a little bit more fish during the Lenten season. So therefore, the prices are sky high right now because what I used to pay for like red snapper is out of the roof right now. And even the cheaper fish, you'll be surprised to know how they have gone up in prices. And I don't think this time of the year, especially for local fishing, this is not the time of the year when they get the big catch.
Right.
So because the seas are not very steady in those days, so therefore they don't catch as many fish as they used to at this point in time.
And and also we must remember that we're not taking care of our environment and quite a lot of things are being washed down from the hillsides, dumped into the gullies.
Right. But I was also thinking about overfishing
in
our local waters. Because we don't seem to be using the right equipment. And I recall once when I was a little boy going down to Alligator Pond. And when the fishermen caught the fish, the little ones that stuck into the mesh, they just throw them on the seaside.
Those little fish.
The little fish, right,
bigger,
that would grow bigger. And I recall my father telling them, he's not a fisherman, but common sense telling him, but if you do that, sooner or later you're going to have a shortage of fish.
Exactly.
And so said, so done. Because in those days, you could, for example, in the 50s and 60s, you could get goat fish, which is a nice breakfast fish, in abundance. Now you have to pay through your nose for, if you see one, you're lucky, and you have to pay for it, for a lot of money. So therefore, I hope the fishermen have learned their lessons by now, but, it's sort of late now to regain.
It is kind of late.
So I do hope that they are using the right mesh when they are setting their baits out there, because sometimes the fish out there, when they lose their bait, for example, when they lose their pots, the fish stay in there and die. Although they're in water because they cannot get enough food, so they will starve to death.
Starve to death, right.
So therefore one has to be careful. We have to be, more technical.
I talk about fish,
right.
If you've been out to Raytown recently, we need to look after that place. It's in a terrible state.
All the water, all the muck rushed down from the gullies down into that place. State. And, it means that people must know, look how you dispose of your garbage.
Yes.
And don't...
So here's the joke now. You dispose of your garbage uptown and that, come downtown,
yes,
and then you go down and go buy the food and everything right there, so.
Yes, it's not healthy for you. Plus, It's not healthy for neither you or the fish. And I remember the days when Kingston Harbour used to team with fish. It's not so anymore.
You remember those days?
Yes, I remember when I just came into Kingston back many years ago.
And by the way, you could have dived into the water and have a good swim.
Well, that's where I used to swim.
Well, guess what? The last time I went out by Port Royal here and swim, not Port Royal, Gunboat Beach.
Gunboat.
About a couple of days after, I realized that the hearing had gone.
Yes, it
and when I couldn't figure what was wrong, when I went to the doctor, I found out that I had a very serious ear infection, and that it was moving out to the inner ear.
Okay, that could be fatal.
All right.
Could be fatal. But, we have to, whatever we do, way up in the hills, is going to wash down into the sea eventually. So if we use the poisons to, insecticides and so forth, we have to be careful how we use them, because if we overuse them, it's eventually going to wash down into the sea, and eventually it's going to affect the breeding of fish.
Eventually it's happening in Portland.
Where?
They call the fish them come on, man, they use them to make a soup and all those things.
Busu? It's not busu.
Yes, man, that same one.
Yes.
I understand that you can't find any out there at all.
And that used to have a place that used to team with all those things.
Yes.
So
basically, I laugh sometimes, when I hear people talk about how they treat poor people. And I keep telling persons that poor people, we're wicked to ourselves.
To our own
selves.
And we blame everybody else.
So we use dynamite.
Yes.
And we kill off the fish them, and we use them all kind of
spear gun when the fish are fast asleep. For example, the parrotfish, they say they sleep on the reef, and that's when the spearfishers go out.
They damage the reef.
And they not only damage the reef, but they kill the brooding fish.
And my understanding that the parrotfish, you say, boy, I love to meet God one day, because it looks like he must have spent 1 trillion years planning this earth. I understand that the parrotfish, they help to
build the reef, to protect the reef, yes.
And also the beach.
And the beach, yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. So therefore, they kill him when they are asleep, when they can't escape because they are fast asleep. Because fish sleep too,
Right.
Like anything else,
Good.
And they catch him at that point in time.
Well, I could ask to make your final point. Time has really slipped by.
All right, well, I have to say part 2 continues. I was just about to talk about money safety.
No, that can be part 2. Let me tell you why.
Yes.
We just want to give them a bit and every now and again.
That's a long
I find
story.
my listeners don't want to be crowded, so we give them a bit.
Okay,
and,
right.
We try to keep it as lively as possible.
We can, we take that up as part 2.
Yeah, man.
But be careful when you go to the ATMs, because see what is happening there.
I got a report about that this morning, about how there's not much privacy.
No. When you draw it, you have to just push it in your pocket. You can't count. Never count your money by the ATM.
Yes.